Hey everybody, it's Mark again, and it's a beautiful day here in southeast Missouri. I love days like this. But here, a couple of videos ago, I posted a video where a friend of mine, after taking the COVID shot and catching COVID, had phlegm in his throat for over a year, that every time he'd laugh, he'd cough, and throughout the day he'd cough because of this phlegm. And whenever he put his head down on the pillow, that phlegm would make him cough. It would drain, it would make him cough. And for over a year, I've been trying to get him to go out and get some mullein plant. And I actually gave him some mullein plant, but the plant that I gave him was dried up. Well, he finally went out to a natural food store and bought some mullein plant. 3 days after having a cough for over a year, his cough went away, his phlegm went away. And that was only after 3 days. I broke my nose when I was very young. I got other videos that talk about this, but I don't want to go into that. So when I wake up in the morning, I sometimes have trouble breathing, even though I've had 2 nose jobs. I picked this stuff over 2 years ago, and if you put it in a styrofoam cooler like this, you see how green it still is? It's dry, but it's not all the way dry. It's still green. Okay, so you could use this stuff. You could do like I do, just treat it like chewing tobacco. You don't want to swallow this stuff because it's got tiny fiber-like hairs on it that will make you cough so much that you will throw up. You can make a tea out of it and strain it, and that way the fibers don't go down your throat. You can put it in a bowl and set it to a fire and smoke it. The smoke is supposed to help you out also. But I typically don't use that stuff because, I'm going to show you why. And I got other videos like this. I got 9 acres. Never seen this stuff on my property before. There's that shed on the other side of that vehicle. I went out a couple years ago when I got that stuff, and I put a bunch of plant in that shed, and it dried up. And when I swept the shed last year, it started growing on my property. This is one of the plants right here that grew last year. You see how dried up it is? This is from being out connected to the ground still, getting rain and stuff, and it's all dried up. Unlike that stuff that's in that cooler, that's been in that cooler for over 2 years. However, this stuff loves to grow in rocks. You hear me? Loves to grow in rocks. It grows all over the United States except for Alaska. And I was just walking. There's some right here. Growing on my concrete pad. There's some more growing on my concrete pad. Now this is velvet to the touch. And that's what it looks like in the first year, supposedly. The second year, it grows a stalk. Okay, but I don't know whether it has to do with the seeds. I'm not an intelligent man, but the stuff I showed you a while ago that was grown up in a stalk, it came up last year. It started like that, and then it grew a stalk. So it might have something to do with the seeds that makes it grow that stalk. At the top of that stalk is where the seeds and the flowers are. But I've got it growing all over my property now. So when I'm having trouble breathing, I just come out here and I'll pick a little bit off. I'll stick it in my mouth, treat it like snuff, and then when you start drinking your liquid, the liquid gets mixed in with this stuff, and when you swallow the liquid, almost immediately it clears your sinuses. Some more with the stalk. Like I said, right here's where all the seeds are. And so that's where the yellow flower comes at too. This stuff only grows where it wants to. This is my well, and I've been throwing seeds in there, and so far it hasn't grown in here, but maybe one day it will. But anyway, this stuff works. You know, I only tell you the stuff that I know for sure works. There's many different uses for mullein plant. If you look really close, in this area right here, there used to be a building. There's lots of rocks in this area. Well, guess what? In this area right here, mullein plant grows. There's a stalk that came up last year. There's a stalk that came up last year. And it's all because of the rocks. So if you have a bump, you have to let this. You have to go out in the ditches to find this stuff. I got one video where I went to Bridal Cave with my sister and her family down in the Lake of the Ozarks. Right outside Bridal Cave, there's a lake. Right outside Bridal Cave, between the cave and that lake, it's a rocky levee. There was mullein plant all over the place in that rocky levee. Anyway, go out and get you some mullein plant. You can put it in a styrofoam cooler. You can go out to a health store. Like here in my area, in Poplar Bluff, there's a store called the Beehive, I believe. Anyway, they sell stuff like that. My friend bought 2 bottles, and you can find that video on my channel. And it cost him $18 for those 2 bottles. But 3 days, only taking 3 days worth of pills, his cough went away. Don't take my word for it. Try for yourself. What do you got to lose? Give me a thumbs up. I mean, God bless each and every one of you. And from walking the little bit that I walked, my back is hurting.